So welcome back, my furry friend lovers. Are you ready for part 3, video 3 of our 5-course training? Stay tuned and I'll show you what we need to do to move on to the next level. Okay, so hopefully you've all had success with the last week and getting your dogs to perform what we needed them to perform. And hopefully you also working that down cue as well. Like I said, go through your house and as you see them sitting and laying down, putting a treat between their paws. Because this video, we're going to use those pieces now to follow on to the next step, which is now we're going to be starting to do a lot of distracting, weaning dogs off of the treats, and getting them prepped to be off leash and stuff like that. So the things that we're going to need today, we're going to need we're going to need a long lead. We're talking about a lead that's maybe 20, maybe 30 feet long. This has been cut into many pieces, so this is long lead. And the other thing we're going to need is some treats, and we're also going to need some distractions. So what you can do for distractions, if you're just working by yourself and you don't have somebody that you can work with, you can use something like your dog's toys, maybe something random that the dog gets interested in that draws the dog's attention, and we can use that as a distraction. You can also use a person if you have somebody else in the house, a kid or a husband or a wife or significant other or whatever. You can use the person as a distraction, or you can do what I'm going to try to do today. We'll see if old man Bobo wants to come up and play. I'm sure once the treats come out, he'll come up, but I'm going to try to use Bobo as my mild distraction. So those are the things that we're going to need today. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuously working that come command. And so I got my pretty little partner here. I'm going to be using Fiona. Fiona is my little girl, huh? You're going to help Uncle Mike? Do you want to help Uncle Mike? Do you want to do some training? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to continue working that come command. We're going to start to add some distance. We're going to try to do this without distraction first, but then once your dog gets used to this, what we're going to do is that we're going to start to add some distractions and things like that. So today I have my little friend Fiona. She's a 1-year-old Irish doodle, and come here, Fiona. Come here. And she's gonna do her best. We'll see how she does. Okay, so the first thing, like I said, we're gonna do is we're gonna work that come command. And what we're gonna have is our dog you can just have them sitting on the leash. They can be walking around, they can be sitting, they can do whatever it is. So we're gonna give a little distance. Now when training in distance, the first thing you need to understand is don't go too long, don't go too far. We need to train in steps, so a dog learns come at 1 feet, then come to 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. And as your dog performs better, we can move it further back. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a long lead on them to kind of help if we need any help. So what we're going to do is we're simply just going to back away, and when we're going to say, come. Good girl. Okay, so that's all we're really doing. We're just getting them to come to us, and we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to move over here. I'm doing it about 3 feet. I'm going to say, okay, come. Good girl. Good come. Okay, so that's again because of if you were doing the training last week, your dog should really be responding to this. So, again, I'm just going to kind of walk away and say, okay, come. Good girl, Fiona. So Fiona did great on that. And so that's what we're going to do with the come command. Hey, Bobo. Bojangles. Hey, old man Bobo. So when the other thing that we can start to do too is when your dog starts getting really good at this, you could start practicing it off leash inside your house by having the dog say in another room, get the dog and say the word come. And if the dog comes to you, make sure you have some treats on you and some heavy praise, and that will also help. Hey, Bobo, look what I got. Good girl. Bobo, come. Good boy. So now, like I said, we're going to work that come command with a little bit of distraction. Bobo's going to be my mild distraction. So I'm just going to kind of back away. Now, Fiona can have the choice right now to play with Bobo, which she's not because she wants to train. So we're going to go, Fiona, come. Good girl. Okay, Bobo, good boy. Good come. This is my old boy, Bobo. He's 16 years old. So we're going to work that a bunch of times, a few times, get that to work. Like I said, the idea is, you know, Fiona had the opportunity or the chance to play with Bobo. So she didn't. She decided to come to me. So heavy rewards, and again, another you know, good praise, and that will get your dog to understand that you come. Like I said, and when they start getting good at this, what you can do is take it indoors with no distractions. Try not to have any distractions, too many. But when your dog's, say, in another room or further away from you, you can call them over with the word come. They come, you treat, and heavy praise. And that will help practice with the, you know, off-leash command. And then you can start taking that out in your backyard, again, without a leash, and doing the same as well. And as they get better and better with this, what you're going to want to do is start weaning the treats off. So just making them come, and Fiona, come. Good girl. And just give them praises, okay? And if you do that, then they'll start weaning off the dog, you know, off the treat, and you don't have to do that as well. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a heel command. We're going to keep working that heel command. We were working it a little bit in the previous video, but this one here, what we're going to really do is really concentrate on having them stay by our side. So with Fiona, we're just going to, again, put your hand down, food lure, and we're going to heel. 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 Okay? Now, I was using Bobo as my distraction. So as you see, we walked by Bobo. If this was my training class, I would actually have 3 people and their dogs lined up in a row. And then what I do is I have the rest of the class kind of weave through the people, and you keep your dog in a heel, keep them distracted with, again, a treat. This is what the importance of food lure was in the very, very beginning. I know the very first video might have seemed a little boring, but this is, again, you get those bases, and it makes this a lot easier. So, okay, so that's the heel command. Again, what we're going to do is just keep practicing that. The more you practice that, the better you're going to start to be able to do the next thing that we're going to do. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is continue on with the loose lead. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding the word let's go. Okay, now let's go, like I said before, is if you watched my loose lead video or the training video before, let's go just basically means you got 6 feet on the lead. You can walk anywhere you want. You can be in front, behind me, on the side of me, wherever you want. You just got to do it without pulling me. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, come on, let's go. Okay, so I'm just going to walk Fiona around. She's got that. Boom, she went a little tight. We're going to bring her back. We're going to come on, good girl. Loose lead walk. We're going to do loose lead. Now see how loose this is? We're keeping that loose. And the idea is she's paying attention to me. See how she's really watching me? She's watching what direction I'm going in, and she's staying loose on that lead. Now I get Bobo as my distraction, which she can actually, if she wanted to, go play with him. But again, she's more interested in being rewarded. Good girl. Okay? And as the dog learns that more and more, good boy, Bobo. And as she learns more and more about loose lead, then what happens is you practice that more, give them the rewards, give them lots of praises when they are doing it, and then that way you practice it more, and then you get into using distractions like Bobo, and then when you start walking down the street, they're not going to be so excited about seeing every dog, and you should be able to achieve a proper loose lead walk, okay? So again, if you guys have any questions about it or any problems with anything, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I'll answer your comments as best as possible. So the next thing we're going to go right into is, again, we've been practicing the sit command. Your dog at this point, you've now been doing it for over a week or two, and you should be able to have a good sit command. And now we're going to start actually adding and using the cue first. Before, I wasn't having you use the word until they actually performed it. This time we're going to actually use the word, then get the action, and then we're going to reward. So Fiona, sit. Good girl. Bobo, sit. Sit. Good boy. Okay, so we're using the word first and then receiving the action, and then we're going to give them a reward. So we're going to go, Fiona, come. Sit. Good girl. Good boy, Bobo. Okay, and so again, we're using the word now beforehand, and as your dog gets better and better at this, and you know you're going to get the action with the word, then what you can do is, once you know that, you can start weaning the dog off. How do you wean the dog off? Well, you give the command once, maybe give them a treat, then you give them a command again, have them sit again, and then you don't give them a treat. And then you can start spreading that out where it's now you're only giving the treat for a really good response, like a really good quick sit or something like that. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to now, last week I told you, in the last video I told you, every time you walk by your dog and they're laying down, put a treat between their legs. They should now have a good understanding of what the word down means, or the action you're looking for when we say the word down. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to start using the word. Now, one of the best ways to help a dog with down is what we're going to do is we're going to coax over, and we're going to go get them in a sit. And then what you're going to want to do is keep that treat really close to their body, down their leg, and then you're making an L. And see how when you make that L, Bobo lays right down. And Fiona did a great job too. Fiona down. Down. Good down. So start at their nose. We're going to go down their body real slow. Now again, this is a difficult to do. Down. Good down. Okay, so notice I said the word as she was about to lay down. And then again, I rewarded her with the treat between her legs. So that's the way. In the down one, be very patient. It is sometimes a difficult one for dogs to understand. But that's why I said last week what I wanted you to do is really kind of get them set up to understand the word by placing one every time you see them laying down in your house. So again, like I said, we put the treat close to their nose. We brought it down their leg real slow. You got to go at the pace of your dog drawing that cue. You know, they're following that treat, and you go down. And as you noticed, I was also holding on to her leash. That way she maybe didn't back up or try to stand up or something like that. You can kind of coax them into a down. Okay, so continue practicing that 10 to 20 times a day. And like I said, also continue anytime you see a dog maybe laying down. What we can do is you know, reward them at that point too. So the next thing that we're going to start to work on is sit stay. And sit stay, again, stay is one that we're going to work in a distance. So when we first start doing this, we're going to say stay, maybe take one step back, release, and then have them come to us. We're going to do that a bunch of times. Once we know they're going to respond properly, then we can start taking 2 steps back. So we're going to put them into a sit. We're just going to go stay. Now keep your hand out. Now stay is also one that you can repeat over as long as they're staying. So we're going to go stay, stay, stay. Okay, come. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, and then you can move it on and on and on. And one of the reasons why I like to have the long lead when you do this is because as you start getting into longer distance, say past that 6-foot lead, if your dog's in a sit-stay and they don't know to come right away, you can give a little pull with the lead and get them to come to you. And then as they get better with this, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding distance, we're going to start adding length time to the stay, and then we're going to start adding distractions. So I think old man Bobo just went and laid back down again. So we don't have our distractions. So what we're going to do now is the next step, which is again another difficult one for young dogs to understand until they really start grasping each piece of it. We're going to go into a sit, we're going to go into a down, good down. We're going to go into stay, stay. Okay, come. Yeah, good girl, Fiona, good girl. Okay, so that's how you're going to do down stay. We're going to get them in a sit, bring them into a down, give them a stay. Like I said, you're going to maybe want to just do one step back, then release with a reward, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing for today. Practice each one of these things 10 to 20 times. Do it 2-3 times a day. The more you do it, the more consistent you are about this, the better your dog's going to be, and the more it's going to be easier for us to achieve the next level. So hopefully you guys again enjoyed this video. Please share this video, hit that like button down below, do all the things that we know to do here on YouTube, and share this again with people that you know that might be interested in the same type of simple puppy obedience. And as you can see, it's pretty achievable. This puppy I haven't even worked with before, so I can't wait to see you all for the next video. Stay tuned and be good.